kwa Matatu tunataka kuongea about.
Tunaongea kuhusu makanisa na shule. Unajua kuna shule ambazo zinakuwa run by makanisa fulani. Na government the other day come up with a suggestion ya kwamba they want to elevate some provincial schools into national schools, and most of these provincial schools zinakuwa run by several churches. So wako up in arms, wanasema ai hapana, kwa nini, why are you doing this? Tumekuwa tukirun these schools for a long time, it change the dynamics. So my first question nataka kuuliza ni wangapi hapa maybe secondary school ama hata primary school ulikuwa kwa shule ambayo iko under a church? Wewe madam na wewe?
Hata mimi.
Hata wewe? Yako ilikuwa gani mzee?
Ya Sika ya Odheru.
Siki Odheru. So ilikuwa nda kanisa
Ilikuwa nda kanisa.
Na hiyo ilikuwa je experience?
Lazima tuingie kwa kanisa, tuombe, tuende kwa madarasa.
Kila siku
kila siku asubuhi.
Ilikuwa Geni High School. I think ilikuwa Father Kerry Adam. Catholic, alikuwa Mcatholic. Nimesoma huko mpaka miaka yangu yote.
Na hiyo experience ilikuwaje?
It was very nice. Ulikuwa very religious. Hata unatii ukiambiwa kitu unafanya.
I'm in St. Agnes boarding school in Kirogoya, and right now I'm there. And it's sponsored by Catholic Sisters of Mary Immaculate of Nyeri. Yeah, it was us, according to us, it is a must. You go for mass whether you are a Catholic or not. Then asubuhi mkiamka, the first thing ni kuomba, then you go and bathe, do your work. Then every meal tunaomba, then at 1:30 we pray. Alafu saa jioni at 5 we pray the rosary, divine mercy, the short one or the long one.
Kwa starehe boys.
Yeah. Okay.
Sasa kila mtu alikuwa anaenda mahali anataka. Ukitaka kwenda mosque, ukitaka kwenda Catholic, ukitaka kwenda, ukitaka kukaa hata usiende.
Sawa. Na wewe kwa kona pale, do you think kuna a big difference between kanisa shule rather ambayo iko sponsored ama run by a church from these other ones ambazo ziko run by the government?
Zile wangazina the church runs the school, you find that there are a lot of good virtues ambazo zuwagazi, they are able to maintain good virtues, whereas in the other side, the fact that by the way nowadays masomo ni free. You see, watu wanasoma ama wasisome, you go to church or you're just there, ni kama camping site or something. Let me talk niite kwa hiyo njia. But maybe as far as I'm concerned, the schools that are being run by the church are the best.
So would you take your child to
Yeah, by there I will.
For the public schools, watoi in the whole school, maybe there are 4 teachers. Who is there to monitor the whole school? There's no one. But when you are in a boarding school, a missionary school, whatever, maybe a CPK or a PCA or a Catholic, they are there. You are your brother's keeper. And in discipline wise, they are there. They are superb. By the way, you notice a child from a public school and that one from a Christian school. There's such a big difference.
As much as there are advantages, you cannot fail to see the disadvantages, because if you're not a Catholic, you go to a Catholic school, you're not going to rhyme with it. Because, for example, me, I'm a Protestant. So if I go there, you're forcing me to go to a mass. Those the sign of the cross, I don't know, as you must pray what time. So as much as there are advantages, you cannot fail to see that some people cannot rhyme with that.
So it's like imposing a certain religion.
Yeah. The most advantageous thing, you are able to come up with something. For example, precious blood. You see, it is under a church, and those people are able. Kutoka kitambo, yani grades zao kuna mahali haziwezi fika ziende chini. The other thing, you see, kutoka starehe, they have a way of worshiping, you see, and there's a way they are following. So I feel like it helps people to have, to maintain something that will make them live.
It's idea religion, yeah?
Yes.
The way he said he's a Protestant, for example, if he went to a Catholic school and he's forced to go for mass, he's forced to pray with the rosary, he's forced to do so many other things that it's not what he believes in. So don't you think in that regard impose that religion on you as a student?
But you see, when he was going there, he knew that's a Catholic school.
That's the first thing.
You see, so when you're there, you have the option. Yeah. It's not compulsory.
Like she said, in her school, they have to do the masses. How many times? Is it 3 or 4 times a day or something?
They're praying.
They're praying.
Yeah.
In the morning we pray. Then at 1:30 we pray. At 5, and after the preps at 9. After the preps, we go to sleep, we must pray again. So 40.
So 5 times a day.
All of you together.
Imagine.
Hakuna mtu ana-
Yeah.
hapa left. It's compulsory.
Yeah.
It's compulsory.
It's
So that's when I was saying, when you're going there, you know that that's a Catholic school. So if you're going to a CPK, the way the man was saying, if he's going to the CPK church, I have to follow the orders those that are there.
And that's what I'm saying, isn't that then imposing a religion on someone? Because it doesn't matter that I know your shule ni a Catholic.
Yeah.
I want that education. I want to be
That is
precious
exactly.
blood, yeah, because of the education.
let
value.
me
So
say
why don't you give me the education without imposing religion on me?
Why don't you then go to a school that has the mosque?
You should look at what keeps that place. What keeps that place? Because one, if you keep ukiweka mti chini, mtu ataspoil. Whether anataka ama hataki, you have to hold your stick. You see, so if that issue of like putting them together is what is making the school to be, to learn in such kind of a way that people are recognizing and feel like they want to be there. So I'm feeling that inafaa ikuwe hivyo.
Tuko na insert tumetengeneza ikiwa na maelezo zaidi. Let's watch it.
Running a Christian school entails just the same principles for running a public school. The only difference is that probably we put in chapel, we have devotions, and we track the children in terms of their personality and their character. There are a few advantages of having a church-run school, and one of them is that the church congregation is behind the school. So unlike in a public school where sometimes you wait for funding from the government, in a Christian school, you'd have the church support the running of the school. Many times in public schools, the government is keen on giving education being academic. In a church, they will focus on values. So this helps a child to grow up holistically with excellence in academics and excellence in values so that they can be integrated well in society. One disadvantage of a church running the school would probably be the criteria for admission. Some parents may not be Christian necessarily or not adhere to strict Christian principles. So sometimes when they will be called to school because of an issue on Christian values, they may feel that they are being disturbed. We are facing very many issues to do with drugs, to do with all sorts of things in the society where people are stealing, people are doing things that are not right. The church will pass for one thing, that they stand up for what is right and would help people develop that kind of character.
Ni nini huwa ina contribute to these schools performing so well? Is it the way it's being run, or is it the religion?
Not the religion.
It's how it's run.
Exactly.
So it has nothing to do with religion.
No,
Yeah? So then religion should not be imposed on these
This
students.
colonial thing, I think this
The missionary schools, they are going to make sure that every class has a tutor.
And it's very fast for
Yeah,
them.
it's so the students that are in the class, they are going to catch up easily, and there are not many. As in, let's say for the public schools, currently in one class you're going to find 100 and something. So when the teacher is teaching there, he's only going to concentrate with the few that are getting the subject. So the rest are going to still drag behind. That's why maybe.
So I tend to think that the reason why these schools perform better than the ones that are run by the government is because they are very few.
Yeah.
Maybe the Catholic is constituted around 3 schools, but the government, the ministry is supposed to monitor very many schools countrywide. So then they can be very efficient.
Sometimes gava ikichukua vitu zingine yani achiliwa tilan vitu zingine huwa tu tunaona tu inaenda kama ni kibanda tu hivi inaenda inafungwa.
Kitambo was a mission school. Na kitambo it was running very nicely. After it was given out to the government, now it became a different thing. Kutokea a lot of chaos. Yes. Now if you see wakati ilikuwa under the mission, it was running very nicely. You see, it was running very nicely and it was an international school. And now give now the precious blood. Ipatie wasa see you Catholic. My friend, 1 year time, you want to believe it's the precious blood.
Angalia venye chairman wa the Church's Commission on Education anaitwa Morris Crowley anasema, he says that although it's a noble idea, yanaogopa ya kwamba some communities will be disadvantaged because cut-off point itaenda juu. So kama ungeingia precious blood with this marks, sa itaenda juu kidogo, so some people will not be able to go to that school.
You can't be admitted in a school with low marks. So it's still going to benefit the students. So they are going to put more effort in their learning. So that they aim higher to the marks they expected top mark. No, at least it's good.
The issue about the church schools refusing for the elevation, it's fair because I know they want to help as many students as possible. When it's elevated to national school, the cut is going to be a little bit higher. So I think it's fair. They are still the provincial level. It's going to help as many students as possible.
Tunashusha watu, tukienda kwa streets kupata maoni huko, then we'll be right back.
Leo tuna multitask.
Kabisa.
Kanisa ni mzuri kulani shule kwa maana society ambayo inaleta mambo mazuri kwa watu.
Jaji inapaa kuwa judge, shule inapaa kuwa shule kwa sababu judge haiwezi endesha mambo mawili.
I think churches should run school because we've seen when the government has been left to run school, they squander money.
To my opinion, there's no problem with that. Because the same way like Muslims will run also school, you have madrasa. So the same way a church will run a school.
Unajua ukirishia kuku mahindi utaishi. Unasikia? Hata wanaanza kusomesha mtoto shule bure. Wanapatia watoto chakula. Sasa shule zinafanya makanisa wanaingizia shule.
Na hayo ndo maoni ya watu huko kwa streets mtaani.
Leo tumekuwa kwa streets literally. Miriam.
Iko noma. We're taking a short break. We'll be right back. Keep it Matatu.